Hello, my name is Juan Carlos and I'm the developer of niliBOX. This is the first video of a set of tutorials that I have made to explain the different functionalities of this application. In this first video, we will go through the process of installation of niliBOX in the different operating systems that are supported: Windows, Linux, macOS, Android, and iOS. For more information, you can check on my webpage at niliBOX.com, where you will find sections describing the functionalities of the different modules available, tutorials like this one, the downloads area, and also a contact form where you can leave me messages with your questions or comments about the application. Also, starting on version 1.2.0, niliBOX is open source. That means that you have access to the full source code of the application in this repository, and you can compile it for the different operating systems supported. Also, if you are interested, you can even create your own modules to add functionalities to niliBOX. And now, let's install. We are going to install now niliBOX on a Windows 11 machine. The first step is to download the application. To do this, open a browser, go to the niliBOX webpage at niliBOX.com, scroll down to the downloads area, and here you will find the Windows section. niliBOX is compatible with Windows 10 version 18.09 or later and Windows 11, always on 64-bit. So to download the application, just click on the download button and wait for the application to be downloaded. Now open the downloads folder. You can now close the browser and you will see that we have downloaded a zip file. We need to uncompress this file and put it in some other place on the computer. I will double click on this zip. You will see that the contents is a single folder called niliBOX. I will copy, and in my case, I like to put it on my home folder. So I will paste it here. Now it is uncompressing the application. It is not there. You will see that the application is a single folder called niliBOX. If you go into the contents, you will see that there are many files and folders needed for the application to run. You are all interested on one file, this one here, niliBOX.exe. This is the application itself. I recommend to create a shortcut somewhere like the desktop. Also, you can rename it if you wish. And here it is. niliBOX is already installed. To run it, just double click on this icon and it will open the application. Of course, you can also click on the niliBOX.exe executable and the behavior will be exactly the same. If you want to use some optional parameters, then you will need to open a terminal, command prompt, go to the niliBOX folder, and here you can directly run the application as before, or you can use some of the optional parameters. You can type -h and you will get a little window with the different options that are available. -v to see the version, -h, this one, and the other three are for more advanced functionalities that I will explain in other videos. So if you type -v, you will get the version, the build number, and the platform where it is running. So I will leave it here. You can check the different functionalities in my next video of first steps with niliBOX. We will install now niliBOX on a Linux machine with graphical interface. For this video, I'm running on a computer with Ubuntu Linux version 24.04. The first step is to download the application, and to do that, open a browser, go to the niliBOX webpage at niliBOX.com, scroll down to the downloads area and find the section for Linux. niliBOX has been tested in many different distributions and versions of Linux. You can see them all listed here. The only compatibility constraint is that you should be using a version of the library glibc on version 2.28 or higher. This is very common in any Linux distribution, more or less modern. But if you want to check in your case, you can type from a terminal this command: ldd --version. it will show what version of glibc you are using. In my case, I'm running 2.39, which is okay. So in the Linux section, you will find two different download buttons. One to download the standard version, that means for graphical interface, Linux running on graphical interface, and also the headless version. Headless is to install on an unattended computer running in terminal mode. We will focus now on the standard version for graphical interface. I will press the download button and I will wait for the application to be completely downloaded. Once it is downloaded, open the downloads folder. I will close the browser now, and you will see that what has been downloaded is a compressed tar file. We need to uncompress and find the contents of this file. I have double-clicked. This is how you do it in Ubuntu, and a new folder has been created with the contents of the tar file. If I go into this folder, I will find a folder called niliBOX, which contains the full application. Now my recommendation is to move or copy this folder to some place in the computer of your preference. In my case, I will simply move it to my home folder. Now it is there. If you go into this folder, you will see that it contains many files and folders needed for the application to run. The next step is to run the initialization script. This is very important because this script will find any missing library on your computer. This is needed because on each Linux distribution, the libraries that can be present can be very different. So I will move to the niliBOX folder, and from here I will run with administrative permissions using sudo this script init.sh. You will see that it is finding missing libraries. It has found one library that was missing, but it has been added from the installer. So now all libraries are found, and it will also apply some permissions to use the hardware, create some environmental variables, application icon, and a link to run niliBOX. It is recommended that after running this script to log off and log on to activate all the changes. So I will do this now. I will log out. And now I will log in again. So now we are ready to run niliBOX. The easiest way is to find the application icon and simply click on it. Here it is. The application can also be run from terminal. If you open a terminal, you can simply type niliBOX and the application will run. You can see here the logs of the application. If you want to use some optional parameters, you can also use niliBOX with the option -help, and you will see the different options that you can use. Version to show the current version, help, this one that I'm using, and 3 other options that I will cover in other videos. So if I type version, you can see the version that you're running, the build number, and on what platform you're running. So I will leave it here. This is all about the installation. I will cover the main functionalities in the next video, first steps with niliBOX. We will install now niliBOX on a Linux headless machine. For the purpose of this video, I have installed a Linux server somewhere else on my network. I have installed on that machine an SSH server so that I can access remotely that machine, and I have checked where is the IP address. So the first step is to connect to the headless machine. To do that, I will open a command prompt and I will use the SSH command available in Windows 11. If you don't have this command, you can use PuTTY or some other tool to SSH or telnet your remote computer. So now I will connect to my computer. 2880. So I have written here my username at the IP address of my Linux server. I will enter my password, and now I'm connected to the Linux headless machine. It is completely clean, there is nothing in there, and you can see that I will show you it is a Ubuntu Server 2404. So the first step is to download the application, and to do that from command prompt I will use the wget command. And now after wget I need to write here the full URL of the download file for the application. How to find this URL? It's very easy. Just open browser, go to niliBOX.com, scroll down to the download section, find the Linux section, and in here you will see the button to download the headless version. I will not press that button. I will simply right click on it and copy the link. In this way I will be able to paste in my terminal the full URL for the installer. This is where the installer is in internet. So press enter. It is now downloading the file. Here it is. So now you will see that we have a compressed tar file in my home folder. Now we need to uncompress and extract the contents of this file. I will do that by typing tar-xf and the name of the tar file. It is now uncompressing, and once it is done, you can see that a new folder called niliBOX has been created. If you move to this folder, you will see the contents of the application. The next step is very important. We need to run the initialization script, and the purpose of this script is to find any missing libraries on this specific Linux distribution and version. Running this script is mandatory. If not, the application will probably not run, even more in text mode. So to do this, I will type sudo to run the script with administrative rights init.sh. This is the name of the script. Type your password, and you will see that it is adding many libraries that were missing. This is normal in a headless machine because it usually it doesn't have installed all the libraries to handle sound and graphics. So you can see that many libraries have been added. The final result is that all libraries have been found, so we are okay. It is adding some permissions for USB, sound and video, and created a link to the application. Now it is recommended to log off and log on to activate the changes. So to log off from this Linux machine, remote Linux machine, I will just type exit and will connect again. So we are now okay. We are ready to run niliBOX on this headless machine. How to do it? Just simply niliBOX and it will run. Now niliBOX is running on this machine in server mode, so there is not that much that we can do with it. Of course, we can also use some optional parameters --help to show the different options available: version, help, this one, and 3 others that I will explain in other videos. You can also type version and you will see what version you're running of niliBOX, what build number, and on what Linux version it is running. So the question now is, what next? What can we do here? Not that much locally on the machine, but if you are running the application, you can use another instance of niliBOX to configure this one. I will run my niliBOX on this Windows machine, and well, I will cover this in other videos, but I will give here some heads up. If you go to the settings section, here you can see the configuration of this Windows computer, of the instance of this local computer. You can see here the name of the site, but if you click here, you will see another instance of niliBOX with no name. This is the Linux machine. This is the headless machine. You can go here and you can make your configuration here. If I now close, let me show you here. If I stop niliBOX here, you will see that after some seconds it will identify that this instance on the Linux machine is no longer running, and it will say that the server side is not available, and it will move to the local installation again. I will cover this in some other videos. One final thing, if you want to run the application niliBOX in an attended mode, so that you can log off from this computer, you can move to the niliBOX folder, and from here run nohub niliBOX &, and it will stay running there. So even if I exit from here, the application is still running. You can check it just going here, and you will see that no name instance of niliBOX is still running. So that's all by now. We will cover some other functionalities in the video for remote operation of niliBOX. We will install now niliBOX on a macOS machine. For this video, I'm using a macOS Sequoia 15.1. So as usual, the first step is to download the application. And to do that, open a browser, go to the niliBOX webpage at niliBOX.com, scroll down to the downloads area, and find the macOS section. niliBOX is compatible with any macOS version 12 or later, both on Intel or Apple Silicon ARM architecture. So to download the application, just press the button and wait for the application to be downloaded. We can now close the browser, open the downloads folder, and you will see that what we have downloaded is a DMG file, a virtual drive that needs to be mounted. To do that, double click on the DMG file, and you will see that it appears here, the virtual drive and the contents, which is just the application. Now open the applications folder and simply move the application to the applications folder. It is copying and it is now ready. So now we can eject the virtual drive, and my recommendation is to go to the launchpad, and here you will find the application ready to be run. Click on it. It is verifying, and you will get this message warning you that this application has been downloaded from internet, so it is okay to open it. And here is, we are now ready to use niliBOX. I will cover the rest of functionalities in the next video of first steps with niliBOX. Also, there is another way to run the application, a bit more advanced. I will describe it here, but it is not needed. If you go to the applications folder, you will find the application. You can select show package contents, and it will show the contents of the application. You can open a terminal on the macOS folder, and here you can run the application more in a Linux style. Let's say you will see that there are 3 applications there. One of them is niliBOX. You can run niliBOX from here. The advantage is that you can see the log files if you run it in this way. And also you can use some of the optional parameters. I will show it here. If you run niliBOX -- help, it will show the different options available. One to check the version, one for the help, this one that I'm using now, and 3 others that I will cover in other videos. If I type niliBOX -- version, it will show that we are running version 120, the build number, and on what platform are we running the application. As I said before, this is not necessary. The usual way to use it is just double click on the niliBOX application and run it. We will install now niliBOX on an Android device. This is a Lenovo tablet running Android 13. To install the application, just open Google Play Store, type on search, and write niliBOX to find the application. It will appear there. Press on it and select install. Now we wait for the application to be downloaded and installed. Once completed, just press on open and the application will start. You can see that the interface is exactly the same as in any other operating system, and the functionality is also the same. I will cover the rest of functionalities in the next video of first steps with niliBOX. We will install now niliBOX on an iOS device. This is an iPad running iOS 18. The process to install, as usual in iOS, is to open Apple Store, find the application by its name, niliBOX, and press on download. Wait for the application to be downloaded and installed, and press the open button. You will see that the interface is exactly the same as in any other operating system. To understand the limitations of iOS running niliBOX, please check the video What Can Be Done with niliBOX on Mobile Devices.